We are Texas A&M AgriLife Extension, helping Texans make their lives better.
Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us on the Cindy Cochran Show. We are live on YouTube and Facebook, and we're on 106.1. Shut up, Richard.
It's right in front of you, too. That's what I love.
It's behind me.
No, if you could read it right there.
Oh, I could read it right.
Yeah.
104.5
There
and
you go.
106.1. And as long as you're between New Waverly and Woodlands, you got us. As soon as you get past that and you goes into a Spanish station, that's not us. And so we do have, I can tell people we have two different, you got to go past 104.1. I think that's KRBE or something. It's a real popular station. And they go, you're 104.5? Wait a minute. That's KRBE? Wait, how can you? I said, no, it's 104.5, and that's KRB is 104.1 or something like that. So, but it's great. We're on a lot of different platforms. So, and this is live. So I want to let y'all know. Don't say anything bad. Okay, all right. And with Grace, your dog, that we have his picture on. We have his picture on. Did you put his picture up on the?
No.
Oh, I didn't tell you that, did I?
Yeah. I have a video, though, prepped and ready to go. So whenever you want to play that.
Okay.
For your fans out there.
Okay. All right. Because what we are very fortunate to have Pete and Anita you're Woolwine?
Woolwine.
Woolwine. And you're Hoppie.
Yes.
So, okay. I'm Hoppie. Okay, I will remember that. And Woolwine.
Woolwine. Wool like sheep, wine like alcohol.
There you go. I like that. Is there any reason that you have that last name? Is it an old Indian name or something like that?
Oh, I'm sure there's a long history somewhere.
You're not going to do ancestry and try to find out where that name came from. Okay, fine. But we're very excited to have you guys because you are promoting a singer named Tom O'Connor, and Tom O'Connor he's been all over Texas, and this is going to be his last leg of his tour, the Lone Wolf Tour, and he's going to be coming through Conroe because he's best friends with these guys, and they're going to do a house party that he'd like to promote as well. Nita will tell you about, but anyway, they're going to have a party, and they wanted everybody to come. It's free, and it's so hard to say that word. You don't get to say it much anyway, but it's free, and it's going to be at the Greystone Hills. See, Greystone Hills. If y'all could hold up placards for me, it would be great. I would appreciate that so much. But it's gonna be beautiful because it's around their clubhouse. It'll be the clubhouse
around the pool.
Yeah, around the pool party, and Tom's gonna sing and do this concert to so funny because Pete told me, he said, listen, we want to meet our neighbors. Anita said this too. She said, we want to meet the neighbors. We want to get involved in this city because you haven't been here very long.
No, we just moved here in January.
In January, yeah, they're babies, and so we're, that's what we're trying to get them acclimated to all the people and make sure that you can understand how their little accent and stuff. These guys have traveled the world, so they can.
My accent is a Chicago accent.
Is a Chicago accent?
I grew up in Chicago, but lived all over the country and Canada.
And Canada. Well, see, I don't hear the Chicago accent. No.
You have a little bit of the Canadian accent with some of the words that he says.
You say A at the end of everything.
Yeah. I used to. I grew out of it.
It was Saturday Night Live introduced us to that, so that's how we thought everybody talked like that. But it's it's so diverse now that to hear a real Texas accent sometimes is difficult. I was born and raised in Houston, and so, but I tried all my life to get rid of the accent because I wanted to do radio, I wanted to sing, I wanted to, perform, and there wasn't any Texans out there performing. And I mean, the minute I got to where I got rid of all that, then Urban Cowboy came out, all these things came out that, they wanted that Texas accent. That's what they wanted.
Yep.
But I don't know. There's so many different types of accents. There's a real fast. They talk real fast, and then they talk real slow. So you've got to be friends with the slow talking Texans, and then you'll get it, and then you'll be able to talk to the fast talking Texans. It's really funny because we do have that. And Richard doesn't talk, so it's you don't have to worry about his accent because he just sits back there and does his thing, and is the radio guy. He is the owner of Lone Star Community Radio, so must be respectful. I'm trying to build you up.
Do you want to play that video I loaded up?
He wants me to shut up. So, okay, listen. Tom O'Connor is going to be performing live, and it's going to be so exciting. If you've never heard Tom O'Connor, apparently a lot of people have that you didn't even realize. And people started saying, yeah, I want to come see it. I want to come see that. So that's why they had to move to another venue so it's larger to get everybody in. But just keep remembering it's free, and it's going to be, this is Tom O'Connor being introduced. Really, I guess has he sung it in Conroe before?
Yes, he sang at the table last July, I believe.
At the table.
Medley, yes.
Medley tape, yeah. Okay. I have no idea where that is, but
It's right down the
corner,
street.
actually. It's not very far.
everybody goes, it's just right around there. And so I walk out there, and I still can't find it. You got to give me, I got to put GPS.
He's right behind our physical therapist.
Really?
Yeah.
Chiropractor's office.
So you already have a physical therapist? You've only been here since January.
That's a whole
Well,
nother
that's
story.
that's
Okay.
a group of stories
We
there.
want to play a little bit of video, and I've got to tell you the line in this song that got me was so funny. Okay, I'm ready.
You want me-
Okay,
you want me
here
to
we
play
are.
it? I'm gonna play it. Okay, I'm gonna play this video I loaded up for you.
Tom O'Connor, take it away.
Might as well be a shotgun aimed right at your chest. Hit the floor, better lock and bolt the door, man. She'll wreck all your dreams. Polished steel and 45 in high heels. She's a cold killing machine. You can't run, you can't hide. She won't take you alive. Ain't nothing you can do. She'll make you wanna more. Won't be long before she pulls that trigger on you. Whoa, whoa. She'll leave a hole in your chest. Whoa, whoa. Put on a bulletproof vest. Barbara drank and pulled her in closer, but one night ain't gonna change her. Just when you think you're winning her over, she's got one in the chamber. Hit the floor, better lock and bolt the door, man. She's sexy and mean. Polished steel and 45 in high heels. She's a cold killing machine. You can't run, you can't hide. She won't take you alive. Ain't nothing you can do. She'll make you wanna more. Won't be long before she pulls that trigger on you. Whoa, whoa. She'll leave a hole in your chest. Whoa, hit the floor, better lock and bolt the door, man.
And we're back. That was Tom O'Connor. So is he Irish? Is
Yes, he is.
Does he talk with an Irish accent?
No.
He doesn't sing with one?
He's actually from upstate New York
Oh, he is?
and lives in Nashville. His parents still live in New York.
Wow. Nashville to New York.
I think it's Bimington, New York.
I have no idea. I don't want to know. I don't want to even think about knowing what they're doing. But Ed Sheehan, it's Sheehan, right? Ed
Sheehan.
Yes, Ed Sheehan. I didn't say it right. Just got told he's you're okay. You're not liable, and he got he was a big lawsuit was against him for a song that they said that he had stole.
Yeah,
that was
just
too
Oh,
much.
really?
It was
a couple of chords from the song.
That's-
It wasn't even the full song.
No.
It was just the arrangement of a couple of chords in the song.
Yeah, and that happened to Michael Jackson.
well. I mean, you only have 8 notes. What are you going to do
Yeah.
to work with? And that's amazing. Isn't it? 8 notes, and
Yep.
all these songs that have been written by. But in the 50s, I think they all played the same notes. But it was just an arrangement
Right,
of that.
the different arrangement.
And then,
yes.
so he was really happy, and he missed his grandmother's funeral because he had to be in
Oh,
court, and he had to, he was just, but I'm happy. It's fine. I'm fine. I'm glad we did this. We won this for all songwriters, because all songwriters don't need to be looking over their shoulder and, when they're trying to do their creative thing, to think they're going to be judged by somebody else. And he said, and we brought in people that were really understood the music and how it happened and what they're hearing and what he had done. And all this doesn't make sense that you're trying to say he stole anything from, like
A lot of country is 3 chords in the truth.
3 chords on the truth.
Whether
I
you
love
want to
that.
hear it or not, it is.
Well, I loved Tom. Tom wrote this song, right?
Yes, he
And
did.
where he said that he had a hole in his heart. This lady was apparently being very bad to him and shattered him, and he felt like he had a hole in his heart, so he's going to start wearing a bulletproof vest, and that's really smart. I think that's a way to get over some things that females do to
Yes.
guys. It just hurt them. It's a shame. And I'm sure that we could go through like a whole show on why that's a good thing to say. And, and it's funny in country western songs, especially, or blues, it's all about struggles with relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And so this one girl that I was telling you about that came in, it's just when she writes, she has had several different boyfriends because she just, I can't really write until I break up with them. And she says, I'm like the Taylor Swift of, of our group. So it is something that makes you feel like, okay. Do you know the backstory to that? Do you know, is it real or did it really happen to him?
I
That he
believe
got-
it is real, but I'd
It's
rather
none of your
have
business.
Tom tell the story.
Yeah, that's true. Well, he's going to be on Richard's show tomorrow morning. Is that correct, Richard? Okay. See, I'm giving you a plug, and he'll be here live, right? Or is it is it
no.
a phone? It'll be a phone.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
He's going to be in Round Rock tonight
Okay.
or tomorrow.
Yeah, he's still touring, and so when he comes to Pete and Anita's house, they're gonna be. This is gonna be it, right? This will be the end of his tour.
This will be the end.
The
and
Texas tour.
The end of the Texas tour. Then he goes to West Virginia next week. Then back to Nashville, and I think on the 4th of July he's playing up in New York for a 4th of July festival.
Now, I'll say this because it's these festivals and the concerts and all that where there's so many people gathered. You guys understand this better than anybody, how dangerous you do now feel like it is. And you feel like it's more dangerous than it was, a few years ago. You weren't thinking of that.
No.
are looking around while you're standing there. Does anybody look like they're weird, or they've got a long coat on when they shouldn't, and it's so
Right.
hot? But Pete and Anita were at the Las Vegas concert.
Route 91
Harvest Festival.
Harvest Festival
Where the guys started shooting out of the window, right?
of Mandalay Bay.
Yes.
Yeah, so let's talk about what happened kind of before that night. So this was the 5th year of the festival, and it was amazing. It's a 3-day festival. So many people there. It was their biggest, most successful festival so far of the 5 years. They had multiple stages, several up-and-coming artists. At the time, Luke Combs was an up-and-coming artist and was on the Next from Nashville stage. So you can imagine how big this thing has gone now that Luke would be obviously on the main stage and selling out the stadiums. So everyone had the most amazing time leading up to Sunday night before chaos broke out.
Was it how long? It was 3 days? It was the
3-day festival.
3 days
Jason
festival.
Aldean was the last artist of the night. We were celebrating a friend of ours' first #1 hit as a songwriter. So we were getting ready to leave the venue. We were going back to MGM, and we had a huge party set up there with several of our songwriter
my
friends
word.
and artists from various different levels of success. So we had called for the van that was going to transport us back. We're standing backstage, motion to Jason Aldean that we were leaving, and we hear the first couple of pops go off. And we look at each other and think that it's an electrical issue, that there was a transformer that blew or too much plugged in to the equipment. We kind of looked at each other and laughed, made some snide comments about it. By the time the second volley of gunfire goes off, we know it's not a transformer, and the lights are still on the stage, which was a telltale sign that it was an electrical issue.
Oh, right, right.
So at that point, we knew we had to run or hide.
Did you, at that point too, were you hearing a lot of screams and people moving? Were they moving at that point, or are they still confused what was
I
going
don't
on?
remember the screams. I think we were more focused on trying to find a place to
'Cause
get to.
Yeah, you didn't
I-
know this was coming from up there. You
No.
thought they were in the crowd somewhere. You could
Right.
jump on the stage and eat. Ay, ay, ay.
And there's rumors, just like any other event, that there were ground shooters, and which I firmly believe there were, and people underneath the stage shooting out into the crowd.
You do?
From what we saw at the festival, there was more than one shooter.
Yeah.
In my mind, there was more.
Well,
than one
I mean, you could tell it's by the trajectory of how the bullets would go, that they're not all coming from, above and hitting
And
people in the back.
Most of the 58 that were killed on that night, they were headshots.
So it was,
The-
yeah.
I don't think, well, I don't know, but I don't think
You'd have to be very
70-year-old man
Accurate.
has that much accuracy shooting
Oh, that's a good point.
into the
yeah.
crowd
That's
from a hotel room.
And they ever find out why? Was he?
They never gave a motive.
They never did. I remember them going up to the room and opening the door and and seeing where he
On
was and
YouTube,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, on YouTube, and people were videotaping. That was what year was it?
2017.
2017. So there were a lot of videos from people's
Mm-hmm.
phones and stuff, but it was just it was so surreal. And when that happens, and you guys had at least a place to go, and how many packed into that production truck or that truck?
There were
It started with 6 of us,
Six
and
of
then
us.
a few others found their way there and joined us.
Oh, I bet.
A little 5x5 room, and we're all laying on the floor.
You're laid
and
on
I
the f-
laugh because every time one of us would get real emotional or saying goodbye, one of us would make a joke. and just kind of
Trying to keep it
lighten
light.
the mood a
Yes.
little bit. And that's all you can do in that moment.
Well,
just to
sure.
keep each other from just losing it.
Well,
There
are
were
you,
a lot of laughs, a lot of prayers, a lot of tears.
oh, that's really interesting how everybody reacted,
And
and you know, that's,
Stormy Warren was one of the people in the trailer with us as well, and he was trying to calm down this one girl. We didn't know the other person that was in there, but he was trying to calm her down, and there were bullets going through the trailer as well.
yeah. So it had to be somebody else on the ground that was.
I don't
I
think
mean-
we'll ever truly know what happened that night. And it's taken a long time for me to accept that fact.
Yeah.
And you just have to not dwell on it and sometimes understand there's things in life you will never understand.
Right.
And it's about what you do moving forward. How do you turn such a horrible thing into something positive?
Right.
There's been several charity organizations that have spawned off of this, and a lot of different events that have been put on to just to turn it into positives.
To help people that were.
Not
That
just the
we've heard.
people who were there, but there's a lot of random acts of kindness
Mm-hmm.
that were done in honor of the 58 who lost their life.
Oh,
So
that's
just-
great. I
there
mean,
was
that's
a
great.
challenge for a couple of years for people to do 58 random acts of kindness in the names of the 58 who lost their life that night.
And since then, there's at least a dozen more people that have committed suicide due to that.
And that is just so great. So you come to Conroe, and your first interview, you get to tell that story all over again.
yeah.
Thank you, Cindy Cochran, so much.
But you know, the thing to remember of hearing a horrible story like this is, you know, the obvious: beware of your surroundings. When you
Yes.
go to a huge concert, an outdoor venue, one of these mega events, know where your exits are. Know what your strategy is should you need to evacuate.
Right.
Make sure you're aware just of who's around, and if you see something, say something. But another positive of that is that you don't know what someone else is going through. You could be standing next to someone in a grocery store or wherever who seems like maybe they're just a little bit of a jerk, not as friendly as they should be. You don't know if they've lived through something like that. So just take the time to be
Right.
just a little more kinder to someone else. Standing next to us, other than the fact that we have a service dog, you would have an idea that something
That's one
is
of
a
the
little
blessings
different
that we
with
got.
us. But
That's right, and I'm sure, you know, a dog like that is just such an icebreaker, and it just, you know, it would calm everybody down because they're so sweet and all that, and so they're not going to jump on you. But I'm telling you, going to the store, going to Walmart, going to any store, I am so sweet and so nice, and I help people, and I'll say, let me get that for you if you can't get that, because I want to make sure if I go, I'm going to go feel. I try to make them feel sorry for me. No, but but you know, it's you always feel like good overcomes evil, and that it will, and that's what God said, and I believe Him more than I do anybody else. And so when you do try and do something good and you feel better about it, I mean, okay, it may not help the other person that much, but it sure helped you. And but you do want to feel that way like all the time. And it's so funny that you go to HEB and those people are all so sweet and so nice, and they're just happy and all that. And I said, are y'all trained like this? Are they? Should they tell you like be sweet and be kind and talk to the people? And is it? Yeah, but it makes the day go by faster.
Yeah.
I asked the people at did y'all have a Chick-fil-A where you? Did they have a Chick-fil-A where you lived before? Had you ever had a Chick-fil-A?
I'm sure they did. Well,
Well, a lot of
I don't
places.
remember one in California. I know we've lived around them, but I don't
Yeah.
remember one in California.
Well,
but-
a lot of it's because they felt like the the guy that owned it was supporting, more Christian-based things and,
Right.
and conservative stuff, so they wouldn't have him in their place. And people had ever tasted Chick-fil-A, they're like, I can't believe we can't get that here. But they say, my pleasure. They always say, my pleasure. And well, you'll say, thank you. And they go, no, my pleasure. And said, do you really feel that? I asked him, do you really feel that? Or is it something that just you said it and you just, you've said it so many times it doesn't mean anything. I said, no, you have to mean it. When you say it, you better mean it. That's how we're taught.
And it looks like it works because look at the lines at lunchtime.
And people go like, is it worth saying, that whole sitting in that line? But it is. I mean, and my kids love it. But I told them, I said, okay, this is great, but from now on, I got to get a second job. You guys are charging so much now. What's going on with your chicken? Where are you getting them from? But I got to do this. If you ever go to the Chick-fil-A in Willis, and if you like root beer floats, I want you to credit that to me because it's not on their menu. And every time I go, I'd ask for a root beer float, and they'd say, lady, we don't have a root beer float. It's not on our menu. And I went, okay, you got root beer? He said, yeah. You got ice cream. Like, can you just take it and plop it into the drink, and I'll just take that? And they go like, okay, is that okay, manager? And they have to go off there. Okay, this isn't my pleasure, but I'm going to do it anyway. So they do it. And now I'll go up there, and they have it already sitting up there, and they haven't named it after me, but it's okay. But I just want you to know, if you like root beer floats, you can go to the Chick-fil-A in Willis and say Cindy sent you.
Name it a black cow.
Yes. See, that's right.
That's what I grew up
Right,
with. And
right.
Instead of a root beer float, it was
yeah.
a black cow.
I remember the first time they told me that, I went, I can't eat this, thinking of why is the cow black and what is it? But that's right. I remember somebody saying that to me, and they were like, no, don't call it that. It's a root beer float. But I'm glad you had them and that you experienced a root beer float.
Yes.
Because I don't think Richard has. Because it would put a smile on your face, Richard, if you would drink a
I don't like root beer.
There's those kind of people.
I'd rather have my soda separate from my ice cream if I had a choice. But if someone handed me a Dr. Pepper float, I'd be like, all right, I'll eat it.
Well, you like lick the you lick the ice cream and then take a slug of it. That's really cute.
Or a Coke float.
A Coke float.
Yes,
Coke floats are good.
Yeah, again, I'd rather have my ice cream separate.
Okay, all right. Okay.
'Cause I like peanut butter, so I'll put peanut butter on my ice cream. That doesn't sound good in a Coke float. Does it?
Once you get them started, you can't get them to stop, for crying out loud.
And I want to let your listeners know 10 a.m. tomorrow is when I'm going to have Tom on.
Is when what?
10 a.m.
Okay, 10 a.m. tomorrow. Tom O'Connor will be on
Mornings with Lone Star.
Mornings with Lone Star, and that means Richard. So
Probably a better interview than this one.
I want to bring up something.
Please.
About the show on Sunday.
That was finally, yeah.
Anita doesn't even know this.
Uh-oh.
Because I talked to Tom's manager actually before Anita got home from work. And there may be a possibility if the artist is available. Her name is Caitlin Hennessy. She's a very, very good artist. She paints and draws art. So we may be having a live rendition at the beginning of the show of where she is painting the crowd or painting
That's so
Tom up on stage. And you'd be able to recognize people if you're there.
That's very cool.
It'll be something that it's kind of it would be new to the industry, where it's a live artist performance with an auction at the end of the show, or if it's it may be at the end of the show. We haven't worked out anything yet. It may be auctioned off at the end of the show or online.
Or Anita's going to keep it in the house. This is, I'm
She would
gonna
have
keep
to
this.
bid on it, though. And hopefully she would have to bid high. And
dear, yes.
the proceeds would go to a charity.
That's wonderful.
But we don't know. It's in its infancy.
If she's gonna be
And
here.
This was just, she won't be there in person, but she'll be on either TikTok or on
Like a Zoom or
Instagram,
something.
Zoom, where she would be doing
Doing the picture.
yes.
That is so cool. You know, they had there was a time, I don't know when, in the 80s, the late 80s, where they would have artists that would start painting something, and while they're talking, and you're going like, what is he making? And then all
Leroy
this,
Newman used to do that.
Yeah, and then
on,
they
on ABC for Wide World of Sports.
right, then they would take it and turn it around, and it was like, oh my word, I had no idea. It was somebody really, famous, and that was just amazing. It was amazing that they could do all that. And I kept thinking, I know they must have everything outlined in pencil that we can't see the pencil outline, and they know exactly, so cynical.
And if you go to Caitlin's Facebook page, you can see her art.
Okay,
as
so
well.
her name's Caitlin
Hennessy.
Okay, Caitlin Hennessy, and this Facebook page that she has, and she has all the
Or
her different orders.
Instagram. She
Okay.
has Instagram and TikTok too. But this would be something new to the
Sure.
industry, new to the shows, and Clay Newman is Tom's manager.
That's
He
great.
called me right before we left to come here and described it to me, and
See, aren't you glad you came on the show? You found out something.
I
you
know,
didn't.
right?
and I don't even know if Tom knows this yet.
Oh, that's great.
He may now, but
What's so good is they'll capture. It sounds like she's going to capture some of the crowd.
Yes.
Some of the crowd people, and
yes.
and put that in. That's very good. Imagine being on the painting.
So
Like
if you're, make sure you come by 4:00
Yeah.
to get that done, so she can.
Get it finished before the end
Yeah,
of the show.
before
That's nice.
she's going to try to finish it before the end of the show and then auction it off.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
What
I've
an
seen some of her
addition.
paintings where she's done that at weddings. So
She
in
does
the middle
do it
of
at
the
weddings.
ceremony,
Yeah.
she's got her canvas set up outside of the view of the photographer, so she's not in the wedding pictures.
I
But
saw.
she'll paint the entire scene as it
Yes.
looks from the back of the church or
I
the
saw
venue.
that on TV. Like they did a story on her, and that how she's doing this and getting the whole thing in, and then it was beautiful. I mean, I couldn't believe it.
She's very talented.
She is.
That's cool. All right, yeah, you definitely want to be a part of that, and if she and her especially doing it, that's great. That's
Yep.
cool. That's very
and
cool.
To not have an image as you start a painting, I would imagine, would be a little more difficult. And for her to just look at what she sees and use her creative intuition to come up with this painting is pretty
Yeah.
amazing.
And nobody's going like that, so you can. There's so much movement going on and all that, and so she's got to be able to remember all that and put it together. That's great. That's a good addition, and it is.
And this
different.
would be the first one
Yeah.
for the shows that Clay and Tom put on. This would be the first.
So as he finishes up the tour, are they going to bring her in since she didn't have to be there? They
She
could
won't
bring
be
her in?
there
Yeah.
this show, but I would imagine that they would bring her in.
To have her in their
She's
live-
from Ohio.
Okay. Okay. Wow, that'd be very cool.
Yeah.
And if he ever needs an interpreter for someone to interpret his songs while he's on stage, be sure and call me. Because
Well, come on by on Sunday.
Oh, sure. I'm sure I'll say, what's that lady down there doing her hands? Let's stop it. Stop it. But country songs are probably the most fun to interpret because it's always story based and they tell a story and what's going on. And so it makes it easier. And some of them are so slow that it's real easy to interpret those.
Yeah.
But I saw an interpreter that was doing a rap song and she's having to go like, it was absolutely crazy. I'm sure her hands were going. That's too much. But anyway, I think that you guys have got, y'all been here just since January. So tell me, what is your impression of the Conroe area? And make it all nice and sweet.
We really like the Conroe area. We lived before we moved to Conroe, we were in Sugar Land and then Missouri City.
Way out there.
Yeah. Before we decided to settle in on Conroe.
I'm so glad. I wouldn't besmirch any of those other cities, but I'm telling you, I'm glad that you settled here because it's kind of small town, and when you walk downtown, I guess y'all walked downtown, right? You've seen downtown Conroe.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of venues there that you're going to promote artists in and all. But it's very cool. It looks like a movie set, when you go down there. And it has that feeling, but there's so much diversity that's coming, so much growth that's happening. It's happening really quickly, now. And traffic.
Yeah.
And so if they don't start building more highways or something, because you can sit in traffic just so long. I'm not going to complain. Anyway, no, but it's okay. It's worth it. It's worth it.
Well,
After
when we
living in
lived in
Los
LA
Angeles,
and
yes.
Chicago and
Oh, brother, that 101, is it
Yes,
101?
the
101,
101,
yep.
yes. So when we're living in Redondo Beach and we're working in downtown Los Angeles, and it's about 16 miles, but it takes you about an hour and a half on your way in, leaving home at 5:45 in the morning, and then it takes you 2.5 hours to get home if you leave by 4:00 in the afternoon.
Bob Hope said one time, he said, what, is somebody just throwing a big log in front of the whole highway? What is
Yeah.
everybody stop for? Because we keep going. I don't see where there's
Yeah, you
anything
never
that's
see an
going on.
accident or anything.
Yeah.
It's just we're all going slow, and no one knows why we're all going so slow.
either you're going slow or you're going 100 miles an hour and bumper to bumper traffic.
They have a big sign. If you don't know why you're going slow, speed up now, because it is just it is ridiculous. You just feel like you just need more concrete or something in there. But it's a place though that you had to go through. You had to live in California for a while, right? To get a gist of how that works and how much more you're going to appreciate Texas when you get here.
Yes.
And that's what we found with people. But all the artists you guys must know, from Nashville to LA to Las Vegas,
Yeah.
and every place that you've been. Who's the most exciting artist that you've met and worked with?
Ooh, that one's a hard one.
Chris Young.
Chris Young?
Yeah.
Chris Young. Is he a
He's
country western
Ye-
artist?
Yes.
Okay,
He's,
see, you're talking.
He's very big.
Okay. I should have just gone. I should have gone like, oh, Chris Young. Oh my goodness, Chris Young. Oh, that's awesome, and made me look better than going, Chris Young, is he a Christian artist? Okay. All right. Well, I'll look him up and I'll Google him. And
Okay,
so,
you'll recognize his voice.
I
when
think him, and
and
I
his
think
songs.
the more eclectic person or group that we've ever, really been really good friends with and hung out with, etc., is Love and Theft. They're an
Yeah.
older band. They have a hit called Angel Eyes, the older hit that was a #1 called Angel Eyes, in the 90s?
Yeah.
I know that.
You
I
know
know
that
that
song?
song. Yeah, I
You
know that
do?
song.
Singer.
Yes.
We own
We own.
some of the rights to
You-
that song.
You
Yes.
do? You
Yes.
got some of the
Yes.
publishing rights?
Yes.
You're like an icon because nobody ever gets the publishing
As-
rights.
as-
So play it on
How did
YouTube,
you
and
do
we'll get
that?
a couple of cents. Put it on repeat.
Yeah. And
Cheesy plug.
as soon as we make what we put into it, we're going to give it back to the artists.
Oh, that is awesome.
They had another person that was involved with it that was selling their interest but didn't want it to go back to the artist. So we bid on it, we won it, and so we're going to donate it back to where the artist gets their control of their creative property once we get our money back.
Oh, and that song could be played like forever.
Yes.
And it's going to be, because a lot of 50s, or not 50 songs, but a lot of the 90s songs and all, they start sounding alike. And they were using clips from other songs and, how all that stuff happened. And so when somebody really wrote an original song and it became a hit, boy, it'll last forever. That's awesome.
Their video is pretty interesting. The two girls, the love interest in the video, it's actually the same girl with wigs because they didn't have the funds to pay for two actresses. And the preacher in the video is actually Stephen Barker Lyles, one of the singers. It's his dad, who is an actual preacher.
He is now. This is. Tell me the name of the. Who's singing it? So like
Love and Theft is the band name.
Stephen Barker Lyles and Eric Gunderson.
Okay. Now I can go to YouTube and see and see it. Okay.
And many other songs that they
that they did.
Yeah.
Thank you. Because it's funny. Growing up, I never knew what somebody looked like because you just listened to them on the radio.
Right.
And it was whenever all that stuff started. You had Teen Magazine or you had something like that, but it wasn't like now.
Right.
Everybody, everything about them. And I can remember reading about what they had for breakfast, and oh my goodness, and it was so exciting but my time was just the Beatles and Rolling Stones and the Dave Clark Five.
Yeah.
I can't go on.
I was born in '63, so I'm.
I could have babysat you, so please. It's 63. No, that's why. My husband was a 50s baby, and I was like around the cusp of 40s and went into 50 quickly, and then had all the mess up stuff in the 60s.
Yeah.
Talk about and it helps you though. You learn a lot of stuff through that, and the kids are struggling right now, but they're going to look back and go like, that probably helped me be what I am today. So
I used to listen to AM radio growing up.
Yes.
And I was the only one in my group of friends that would listen to WMAQ out of Chicago. It was the only country station. And I grew up listening to Conway Twitty and Loretta Lynn.
Well,
all the
and those were a lot of crossover. When I think they were starting to die out a little bit, but there were crossover artists that you still heard on AM.
C.W. McCall.
Yeah. C.W. McCall. Yeah. Oh, my word. See, but I never this is so bad. I wasn't attracted to country music because it depressed me because they always had such sad songs, and it was
the violin and the fiddle. I should say.
Oh, please don't do that. I had this lady called me. I did positive speaking tours one time, and so this lady had heard one of my tapes, and she called and said, I am so depressed. I don't know what to do with myself. I'm just ready to give it all up. And I heard your tape, and you helped me. Could you come over and get me through this? Because I don't know if I can make it or not. And I went, okay. And I said, well, where do you live? And so I went over there, and I knocked on the door, and she opened the door, and it was, all the curtains were drawn. It was pitch black, and there was beer bottles all over. And it was... And she was just so sad. She couldn't understand, like everything's against me. And I said, turn off that music. First of all, she was listening to some songs like when I'm going to do myself in. But it was, I said, just let's turn off that music and let's open up the curtains and let's talk about something that's good. And it was, she just couldn't understand that her environment was probably half of a problem, not
Yeah.
all of it, but just half
Right.
of it. And I'm no psychologist, but I thought if we could just help you through this, because it was making me sad, and I didn't know what I was going to do with myself, because she has so many things going wrong in her life, and,
Yeah.
you know, and so I think it's funny the way, you know, music has changed, and now, you know, during the Madonna time, and they were affecting the voices so much, and there was, and you wondered, like, can they sing? Could they sing?
Synthesizers
Yes,
and-
yes, and the Pro Tools was what I was trying to think of, what you recorded with to try and make someone take out any
Oh,
kind
okay,
of flat,
yeah.
sharp, or whatever. You could make them whatever they wanted to. So you really got skeptical about who you were hearing. And then Milli Vanilli came out, and you really got messed up. Like, I'm not going to
When
ever
they're
trust
lip
anybody.
syncing.
I can't trust the music industry. What am I going to do? So you're in a very interesting place. Now, y'all still are doing production. You're right. Your
Oh, yeah.
production company.
We do it on the side.
Yeah, that's your side hustle.
Yeah.
But the name of your company is so interesting. It's Serendipity Blessings.
Yes.
And so Anita explained to me what that was from. So you want to tell the audience what that's from?
We were looking for something a little different, and we liked the juxtaposition of serendipity, which is something, a happy accident that just occurs by chance, and blessing, which is something divine that comes from God. And putting those two together are two very unlikely concepts, but we like that you can read into it what you'd like.
Yeah,
You can
that's
read into
perfect.
it that there is no such thing as a serendipitous event because it's all about blessing.
Right.
Or some people will read into it that some things in life are just made by chance and some things are made by a divine being or God or whatever you believe in. And then you can read into it that it's just a crazy juxtaposition of two words that shouldn't go together that we decided to put together.
No, I love that. I mean, it's interesting because I can't believe there hasn't been a country western song done with that title.
And we have a Facebook page too, and you'd be surprised, not just comments, but the messages that I get
Yeah.
from just off the wall of I need help with this, I need help with that.
Oh,
We're not a
church.
charity
Yeah.
organization. We do
Yeah.
charities. We
Yes.
help out charities, but
That's not
But
the
you-
purpose
but
of
you
it.
that's
have
not
blessing.
the purpose of
Yeah.
the Facebook page.
That's
either.
true. Yeah, you opened up a whole new door with
I
putting
did.
blessings on it.
You're right about the country music song because most country music songs, the listener derives the meaning based on what they're going through, what they think, what they believe at the time.
Right.
So some of these songs you listen to on the radio and you think it's about a relationship and it's actually about their dog or something like that. You could really draw whatever inference you would like from the name Serendipity Blessing if that was in a song.
Right. Or you find out that guy wasn't talking about his girlfriend; it was his boyfriend, and
Yeah.
you really get okay. I let me go back and listen to that again. Now it's going to sound totally different now to me. But so you have to be open to all of that.
Yes.
I'm sure. But you're doing production on supporting artists. You're doing.
We do events and we support them financially when we can. Advertising, putting items on Facebook or
Well,
or
now-
Making
Instagram.
those connections of venues with the artist, especially. So when an artist goes to tour, they'll try to schedule as many events within their tour time frame because of the cost of travel, hotels, etc. So they really want to make sure that it lines up. So if there's a gap in that travel, we look to see if there's a venue of someone that we know that can help provide an opportunity for them to play at that venue.
Like
Oh,
if
that's
somebody's
cool.
going to Chicago, one of our best friends is Ed Warm, who is very well known in the business.
Uh-huh.
And I hate saying in the business because I never think of us as being in the business. But Ed owns a venue, or he owns several venues, but he owns Joe's on Weed Street in Chicago, which is it's a small venue that has huge acts. Dirk
Really?
Bentley plays there. Who else plays over
That's
there?
something though. But people like to go and
And-
smash up with other people and just be miserable.
Oh, we don't do that unless we won't go to anything like that unless we're backstage.
Unless That's the way to do it. Yeah.
Our VIP section.
Or VIP.
Our VIP section. Yes.
But I'm not trying to sound like a prude or anything, but I can't do that.
When there's so many people and just, but it's like they like it. I mean, I would walk in 2 feet and go, you know, I'm not staying in here.
We did
There's
that
sweet
at
people.
the NASA.
No.
There were thousands of people at the space
The Space Center.
the space
National
center,
Space
Right.
Center.
and
we
we're
went there
trying to
visit.
walk through, and there's just so many people. I said, I gotta get out of here.
We picked a bad day to go. We had no idea that it was field trip day. So there were tons of kids and school buses, and
Bless
Like
your
it
3,000
was rough. It was
kids.
rough.
Oh, that really calls for a bless your hearts. Yes. Listen, guys. Oh, sorry.
Oh no,
Now save this for the next time you're on. I'm getting ready to tell you guys. Y'all have artists and y'all have events to promote. Now you have a place. You know.
well, thank you.
Contact us and we'll do it. And call Richard. He'll make it happen for you. Yesterday he said, "Why do you say call Richard? You do it. You call him." Okay, I will. But anyway, I just want to thank you guys so much for coming. And remember that Tom O'Connor is going to be in concert on Sunday at
Greystone Hills.
Why can't I get the stone in the hills right? Greystone Hills. And if you go to, give me a website they can go to.
They can go to TomO'Connor.com, or they can go to our site, our Serendipity Blessing
Facebook. account.
Facebook page,
Okay.
or our personal Facebook page. There's invitations out there.
Well, Tom O'Connor is easy to remember, guys. You know, you can go to Tom O'Connor because you want to hear him sing too. You want to get the information. But to go to Serendipity Blessing, you can go to that and get
No, just
blessing.
send us a note. Let us know that you're coming. And
Yes, they'd like to know that you're coming so they
There's
can.
limited seating.
Yes.
That's
You don't want to just stand up outside the
or
The pool.
There's only so many people that they'll let
in there. Okay.
as well.
So come early, come often.
Come early at 4, and remember, you may be part of a portrait.
And yes, that's exactly right. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate y'all coming, and you're going to be back. Now that you're
Okay.
part of this, you're going to be back. And I've got your number, and I know Grace. And I'll just say, Grace sent me. I wish y'all could see this dog. She slept. She was better than any child. Oh my goodness, she's great. Okay, so listen, tomorrow. Do we have tomorrow? No, this is it. This is Thursday, right?
This is Thursday.
Okay, that's my cue. That's my weekend. So, okay, everybody have a good weekend, and call somebody you love, and remember that we love all of our first responders. We respect you. We honor you. Thank you so much for being there for us to keep us safe. All right, guys, have fun this weekend. It's going to be 91 degrees.
This program is sponsored by the Wootton Financial Group. It is not the intent of Wootton Financial Group to render or offer personalized investment advice or financial planning advice through this radio program or any related website. Wootton Financial Group's participation in this program is limited to providing general information on financial matters and should not be construed as financial recommendation or investment advice. Investment advisory services are offered through Game Plan Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission and the state of Texas. Insurance services are offered through Wootton Financial Group, Inc. Game Plan Advisors and Wootton Financial Group, Inc. are affiliated through common ownership, and neither firm is affiliated with the Cindy Cochran Show. No listener should assume that any information presented and or made available on this program serves as the receipt of or a substitute for personalized individual advice from game plan advisors